Nope, it's back. Hello. The man reads the newspaper with barely contained horror. His grimace spreading wider and wider as he makes his way down the page. Suddenly his frown cracks into something a little more like amazement in it. Whoa, he says. What's the matter? He reads out a story about the heart's total eclipse, which shows everyone in its shadow their one true love. You're shocked. It's the story of the eclipse which cast a shadow of pure love over the land, enthralling thousands. But some of the bits changed. Do you think this really happened? Oh yes. Sounds like nonsense to me for sure, he says. Stuff they print these days. Welcome to the No Sleep Podcast. There's only one rule, which is that every story is true. Is that a story over there, but also a story over here? Shit. What direction did I approach from? I had to take a break. It seems like there's a story in both directions, which you wouldn't think I'd miss. Is that another one in the distance? Cedar Rapids. One of the many places I only vaguely hear about in movies and stuff. Another familiar name.
Stacks of suitcases grind the parked Model A deeper into the dirt. An extended family inside defies the carrying capacity of the vehicle. The driver leans out the window. Want this? He swings a violin around by its neck. 10 bits. We need it for gas. You hear a muffled pounding from somewhere within the car.
I don't have that much.
6 bits then. We need it for gas. The pounding becomes frantic.
All right.
The violin is yours, and the car shudders down the road. It's not quite out of sight when the back door pops open and you hear a girl's voice scream at you. That violin belongs to Louise Ames, you dumb fuck! The door and the girl are wrestled back into place, and the car fades into the blur of the horizon.
Leave the violin.
You toss it down by the tire tracks. What were you gonna do with a violin anyway?
Oh. I thought I could leave it for Louise Ames, not just throw it on the ground. That's not really what I meant, but okay. That violin belongs to Louise Ames, you dumb fuck. She wasn't happy. I like how I said I didn't have 10 bits, but when I spent 6 bits, I did the thing where I lose half my currency. Because you have a 3-state currency, 0, 0.5, or 1. I only used up half my money. So like, I probably did have 10 bits. I'm just a liar, I guess. Great time on this bridge. Oh, damn it. I did it again. Strange street lost in time in Washington, D.C. The street in Washington, D.C. lost for 100 years. So now we have a time stamp stamped onto the amount of time lost. That is a chody lake.
Oh! You want to know something funny? I've been misguided the whole time I've been speaking with you. I was in the library in Seattle and I found Ovid's Remedia Amoris, The Cures for Love. There's a part where he specifically advises against traveling alone to overcome a heartbreak, which is exactly what I've been doing for so long. I laughed, a wild, bestial laugh. They came over and kicked me out. You never know what you'll come across when you read whatever you can. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood?
Oh man. So he's a screaming cloud that's also a dust storm. He's a storm in general, that's also a writer. Huh. I'm really curious about the inspiration for some of these art styles here. A hopeful story to lighten your mood, you said, right? He knows all those ones. It's fishermen that tell people where to find the best catches. Is that hopeful?
I like that one. Hey! Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days. The future. I don't know what's to come after all this, but at the moment I can't bring myself to care. The whole time I wandered alone, I lived in the past and put all of my hopes in something yet to come. I need to let go of all of that. I've decided there's no such thing as the future. It's a healthier way to go about this business of living. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
Let's see if I can crank this out in the first attempt. A sadness that resonates with your own. The worst, so like it's not ideal to use neutral cards. If I can find something actually fitting. I think that's supposed to be scary. I gotta rotate some of these out, but it's unfortunately the game doesn't mark for you which ones you've told to specific people, so there's no useful tools for resetting your tools. Like you have to remember which of these things you've told to each person, which is rough because there's 16 people, and for any individual person you're talking to, you have to try to think, oh God, which of these stories have I told, and which ones have I not told? And there's hundreds of them. Which is a lot. Like 48, right? Yeah, it's like 48. So you can have 48 stories equipped at once, which is a lot. So trying to think of which ones of those 48 stories you need to switch out is a lot. I don't know. The ghost of a woman executed long ago. I don't think that's considered sad. This used to be the vigilantes that killed grave robbers, which was sad apparently, but now it's Robin Hood. Is that sad? This might be sad, but it also might be tragic. No, fuck, it double clicked. God damn it.
That reminded me of the kind of thing I used to write in school, just to be shocking. I was a prisoner to my own regrets, to my own hopeless wishes. I still wish Pauline had stayed married to that old man. Still wish she hadn't seen what I saw in Silas, because she took that from me. But that wish doesn't consume me like it used to. For a long time, I knew I was a prisoner of my mind, but I didn't know how to break out. In the end, I had to grasp the chain in my hands and smash it. Nothing more to it than that. I need an optimistic story right now. Something to put a smile on my face. Can you think of any like that?
Optimistic. Yeah, Johnny Apples. Wait, isn't that one's thrilling, isn't it? Not optimistic. Shit. Where's the one? Molasses. I thought it was in the bottom left somewhere. Did I switch it out? I don't remember. But the molasses that multiplied to save everyone in the town is optimistic. I don't know, Johnny Appleseed might be optimistic.
Listen, these days, I can tell when a story's heartbreak isn't authentic.
That's a sad story?
Poetry is my heaven.
Johnny Appleseed's a sad story?
A poem is a fixed set of words, but it doesn't end there. It's an organism, too. Electrically alive. Just like you and me. How did I forget the magic of that work? The way words can be assembled into a perfect expression of feeling, essence. Pen on paper, ink and shapes, the record of a human soul. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
Yeah, I just told it to you, but it's not what you wanted that moment, apparently. Johnny Appleseed's a sad... Like, it started as him burying his dog, and then he was planting some trees. But then it became the guy just magically plants a bunch of trees. I guess maybe if I look up the story of Johnny Appleseed, I'll find out why it's supposed to be sad or something, maybe? But the game doesn't tell you why it's sad. It just becomes they just tell you it's a guy that plants trees. I'm like, oh, that seems neat. Look at that guy planting all these trees. That doesn't seem sad to me. And we were told specifically that the meanings of these stories change over time, so the category that they're interpreted as will change as you get into different tiers of the same story. Like, this used to be a sad story about the deer running in front of a vehicle, but now or maybe funny, but now I think it's supposed to be adventurous or something. It's a deer you can't touch. This used to be a sad story. Is it still a sad story, Robin Hood? He's still looking for stuff. It is.
It was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. Silas made his choice. I hope he is happy. Maybe he and Pauline have something good going on. For a long time, I couldn't stop thinking about finding them in Frisco. I don't know why. To see if they really were happy together? I'll let them be. They'll be driving each other crazy soon enough. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
We're almost there. The next category will be a victory. I don't know if I have another sad story, so I should probably tell him Ray's Lament. Come on. That should be enough, right? He's a character I finished.
The tragedy in that story?
Yeah.
It's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? I thought that I'd get freedom from Buddhist detachment, Zen meditation, grasping for some ineffable thing. What really kept me down? Only my own conceptions of things. Maybe the Zen that Silas talks about contains the seed of his own disappearance from my life. I bet he'd laugh at that notion. When we first met, I asked you why you were on this road, but I was the one who really didn't know why I was out here. Now I'm off again. This time, to find a place to stay a little while. Not sure where that'll be just yet. I only know I want some place where I can see the water and watch trains go by. Even at rest, I still need to be near things in motion. They say the Dharma will end, like all things, and the time of its ending has already begun. So what is there for us in this world? Why should we stick it out here? I don't have a great answer to that, but I feel better than I did before. I loved Silas. I still love him. Love him like nobody else. But everyone goes their separate ways in the end. We all have to wander. See you around.
Hey, I did it. I thought I was in trouble, especially with the misclick and a mistake, but it all worked out actually. He's finished his "now you're just somebody that I used to know" phase. Works through a strange story about the sugarcane farmer who killed a cutter every night to ensure a good harvest. God damn. That's distressing. That's actually distressing. As far as I know, the dialogue choices don't matter in those things. I haven't noticed any response or outcome that changes anything. I'm a little past caring. Cook. Gotta track these people down. Alright. We're heading back south now. But we'll find her. Southeast. Shit. Which side of the river? Is she on this side of the river? She ain't. The cars don't even go in that direction. I'm actually genuinely confused about that aspect of the game. I find it really odd, but the cars only go in one direction across the road. So yeah, now I think I remember that I didn't get those icons because I think, didn't the car take me past them? Oh my god. Took a break for a few hours to do other things. The frame rate is gone. So earlier this year was the Gold Mountain update, which fixed some localization issues and a few elements of the game and so on. And it's also supposed to be a performance patch, which interesting. Interesting to find out that this is after patching, because this game runs like shit. It just really runs like shit. It's not a game where performance matters like even at all, because I'm not fighting things or whatever and doing time sensitive inputs, but it's just noticeably not performing well. Still, I'm here for the long haul. I'm just curious about this game in general, although I don't know if it has any more surprises in store. From here on out, we might just be running the course of the game and that's it. But it's been a curious little ride. It's just so different. I've never been to St. Louis before, have I? A quarter of the folks in the state are jobless, they say, and St. Louis is the home of America's largest Hooverville. There, you find homes, churches, and food shelters built of loose boards and metal scraps.
It's nearly Christmas. Many are drinking liberally. A man staggers up from a downstairs bar and falls over the top step. "Help me!" You can barely hear his voice over the traffic. "For God's sake, help!" People tut at the man's drunken state. A woman tosses a coin at him without even looking. The drunk clasps at his gut and looks straight at you. "Help me, please." He lifts his hand from his stomach. His palm is red with blood.
Help staunch the bleeding.
You press a cloth on the wound, and he hisses with agony. Another man strides up the stairs, laughing. He looks at the bleeding man, sweeps his Stetson off in a theatrical bow, then turns to you. "You best mind your own." He steps forward, smiling toothily. He twitches his jacket up and rests his hand just above a pistol. "Good evening to you." Tipping his Stetson in a gesture of farewell, he walks fast, but not fearfully, and does not look back.
Assist the wounded man.
The bleeding man collapses into a fetal position. His clothes are saturated, and a bloody puddle has formed around him. There's nothing you could have done to save him. You could speak to the police, but you didn't see the killing blow.
You can kind of interpret this as another element of story, because we keep seeing elements of senseless violence. People just dying, and that's it. And that's the whole story. It's a nothing story, and it's sad because an entire person's life was extinguished in the course of it. So we invent stories that are more interesting, more satisfying, they mean something more. You can create some kind of tragic irony or cosmic justice or just anything else, or maybe they died a hero doing this or that or something, just any reason more than the nothing that the original story leaves you with. Then that story becomes more infectious and that becomes more popular and so on. Althea.
Oh, you're back. Well, take a seat. Here for more about the deal I made with the devil? Sure, I can tell you. But remember, it ain't a story that go down easy. It don't have a happy ending. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
I might have a good story, but let's blow a shitty one. She's so close to being done. Quinn's level 1 and neutral.
I'd drink to that. Travel. Well, the road ahead seems safer for me than the road behind. I didn't go back to Memphis. Seemed more important to drink my whiskey and play my songs. Send a check instead of a letter. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
I'll show you tragedy. Tragedy is that I'm leaving. Bye.
The sun is up. One more night gone. I'm headed down the road this way, but maybe we'll see each other again. And I'll tell you about how it all went wrong. Thought it would last forever. You understand, I was not just a star. I was an inventor. No one played guitar like me. No one. I deserved what I had. I thought it would last forever. It should have.
Althea's Blues. Well, she's conveniently in the direction I was already going. So there's a story out there for me to collect. Oh, there's a few stories over there. Oh. I recognize this song as being one of the ones my character keeps whistling. That's funny. I like the idea that all the different songs are stuck in my character's head, and that's why they're all being sung all the time. Let's go around and collect these stories. There's such a clump of them over here, it looks like.
The barn and silo have seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers, "Ken? Ken? I know you're here, boy." He sees you and lopes across the field toward you. You seen a boy around? About 14?
I haven't.
He sighs. "My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last night." He swallows. "He ain't the type to run off, neither. Can you spare a minute to help look? I'm worried sick."
Check the roof.
You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo. You climb up. There's a hole in the silo roof, a rupture where rotten wood gave way under something large.
Look inside.
You maneuver your way along the edge, keeping your weight off the rotted panels. You poke your head inside. He's there, half submerged in the grain. He's been dead for half a day at least.
Climb down.
The man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder. "Anything?" There's a spark of hope in his eyes.
What do you accomplish by lying to him? He's still going to be dead, and he's going to be found, and he's going to spoil the grain, and they're going to have a horrible rotting corpse turning into soup in their food supply. And when they find him, he's going to look way worse than he does now. Tell him the truth.
He chokes back a sob. "I told him not to go up there. I told him." He looks up at the tower, then turns to you, tears tracking down his grimy cheeks. "Why didn't he listen?"
Not telling him selfish. The only thing it accomplishes is you not having to deal with that little moment there. There's no upside for them. It's a reality they'll have to face soon, no matter what. Got another waitress. Shares with you a story about the miraculous canteen which provided water for a whole crew. Halfway through, you realize it's the story of the water that turned into wine for the thirsty pickers. So now it's no longer wine, now it's just a magic super canteen. We've had molasses for a whole town, and now we've got water for an entire crew. So it's actually really similar. In times of drought, in times of famine, in times of difficulty, like the Depression, you create stories about plenty, because it's the one thing that everyone wants.
The bull lounges by this construction site, basking in the bitter sun. Upon his head is a silver crown shrouded in tongues of pale fire. Laborers periodically wander past, seemingly unconcerned. The bull catches your eye. You realize you've been staring.
Greet the bull.
The bull arches his head languidly away from you. "I'm waiting for my friend," he informs you airily. Now all the laborers are stopping and staring. Feeling reproved, you mosey along.
What? I have another story about a strange bull again? They both even talked. The other one said sorry. What strange stories?
C.P. Pennebaker. The dandy approaches seconds after you enter the saloon and extends his hand. Syndicated in 16 papers. Trying to find out what life is honestly like for folks like you out here. Trade you a drink for your story?
Yeah.
C.P. Pennebaker takes down your tail in a frenzy. "This is precisely what folks want to hear," he cries. He pumps your hand vigorously on his way out the door, leaving you with the bill.
Son of a bitch. He said he was gonna pay me in drinks for my story, and then he left me to pay for the drinks anyway. It was all a lie. Money doesn't have a lot of consequence for me, though. It finds its way to me, even when I'm not trying to.
You didn't think the musician would even notice you. He seemed off in his own little world, idly strumming and muttering along in tune. He stops and calls out to you from his perch on the sidewalk. "What's your name?"
Tell him.
He winks. "Now watch this." He sings "Baby, Won't You Please Come Home," but with your name in the lyrics. "Now," he says, "if you found that meant something to you, and you want to show some of that appreciation, I sure would be obliged."
I can't afford to tip. That guy fucked me.
He clenches his jaw. "You've taken my art without recompense for the labor. Now, the god I pray to ain't a violent one, but I curse you for that. And you believe me, artists wherever you go will know you ain't a friend to him."
Hurry away.
As you leave, he loudly sings a song about the devil. You don't know whether he's referring to the god he prays to, or you.
God damn, man, I was just walking down the street. You're the one that's like, "Hey, what's your name? Here, now you owe me money." You don't know who you're talking to. I don't got anything. All I got is all I got left is my bones. Like Bones from Star Trek. Wow, what a line. You want to hear a story? About the exorcist who drove ghosts from Cincinnati Music Hall with a triangle. Hey, now I'm an exorcist, apparently. Neat. It's nice that these hypothetical people at Cincinnati Hall seem to have stopped being murdered. Now there's just a cool exorcist, which is me. It's a story about me. And how cool I am, evidently.
There's a song called Good Rockin' Tonight, written by Roy Brown. When I heard it, I thought, there ain't nothing special.
He wasn't joking about the devil. Wow. Or she wasn't joking about the devil, I mean. That's a hell of a visual. I really like the character designs of these final forms. It's one of the main appeals to keep going. It's really neat. Her leg broke off. That's distressing. But yeah, there's like a gargoyle. It's a man in a suit, stalking, embracing her, taking her soul, I suppose.
Sounds like a gospel, but it's about making love. Ain't the sort of thing they play on the radio. Then I heard it again. Wynonie Harris sang it. Then it was something else. Then I knew exactly the deal Wynonie made. Ooh, how about a story about the dark and scary things in the world?
The dark and scary things in the world. That's supposed to be funny. That's the molasses. I didn't find it last time, I thought. The storm was like thrilling, apparently. Wow, I haven't told you this hopeful story yet. That's surprising. Killed his brothers from beyond the grave. That's level 3, right?
Ooh, now. That sends shivers up my spine. My family. We was all cursed, right from the beginning. I think my father left us because he could see weren't nothing there but tragedy. Tell me a story to make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
A funny story. This is supposed to be funny now. The tree cats?
Ain't that a chuckle? Joy. Well, I think there's more of it in the world than there was. Ain't mine to have, but it's people dance more now. They smile more, I think. They don't need the blues like they used to. Tell me a story to make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Okay, gotta remember the funny stories. Also, very carefully don't double click or whatever. But I don't know if I'm doing anything that causes that or if it's just luck of the draw, like a glitch. I'm second guessing my inputs all the time when I'm like, did I somehow do that? That's a hopeful story. Gotta be one around here that I remember as being funny. They're not? Ah. Well, I finished you, so you're worth a fair bit. At this point, I probably could just spam these and I'm fine.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Oh, we got it.
Love. What? You need a soul to love? I don't think I'm capable of it anymore. Ooh, you got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Now I can just tell you anything. Don't remember if this one's done yet or not.
No, that's just too frightening for me. Heaven. Heaven don't last. I'm the best blues singer in the world, but the world don't need blues like it used to. Tell me a story to make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Oh, I thought we were done. Wow, I really knocked it out of the park here, apparently. Two turns early. I'm not sure if any of these actually need to be updated. Oh, the children's is stage 2, I think.
Trying to scare me, but I don't care for that one. The past and my dreams. So I wish I didn't dream no more. I wish I could forget Marcus's young face last time I saw him. I wish I could forget soft beds and liquor that don't burn your throat. So I lay me here, guitar in one hand, bottle in the other. I wanted to be the best blues singer in the world, but the world left me. The devil don't give even deals. He knows you better than you know yourself. The devil gave me everything, but he took everything too. There's no running left in me. Don't weep for me. I will die here. Those young bucks, they don't even know why they strum like that now. Listen here. It was me. It was me who made this world. That's all I have now, and I need you to know this. I made the world that ruined me. So are we done here? I done laid myself bare for you. That's all there is to me now. My drink, my smoke, my guitar, my gutted body. You got something to say to me, or am I gonna have to play it out of you?
Am I gonna have to play it out of you? Her symbol was an inverted pentagram. She was... That was only chapter 3, wasn't it? Am I nuts? I originally thought that it was chapter 1, chapter 2, and then chapter 3 was demon mode. But then there was some people that had chapter 4, which surprised me. I think when I caught up with her a moment ago, I thought she was in chapter 2. And I was like, oh man, she's only in chapter 2? But then one story finished that off. Then I came back and she was in chapter 3, and then she was in demon mode, I think, but I don't remember. It's hard to review. I think they just show up as being completed, right? Whoa. Weird middle gap of emptiness? Did I leave the game running for a while? Or is that the part where I was... That might have been the part where I was, yeah. After I died once, then I met up with the cowboy guy. I think that might have been when I was, grinding, essentially, to level up my stories. Shows up strangely on that timeline, doesn't it? Just an emptiness. Even though I was doing stuff, but that form of doing stuff doesn't count. Yeah, it doesn't say what chapter I was in, it just says it's complete. So it's hard to say. It's a few completed people now, isn't there? I'm making some progress. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 people are done now. Went from like almost none to a whole lot. So I think that really paid off. This game was definitely threatening to be like, I don't even know, like 50, 60 episodes it was starting to feel like, if we just mathed it out, like how much progress I had made so far versus how many episodes it had taken so far. Like it was looking like it was going to be a real big playthrough. Still, it's still not going to be a short one, but I think that helped out. I really like the art for these. These are neat. That one's really nice. We've done it.